Hello, folks. It's Tom. We live in interesting times, don't we? Uh, isn't that a Chinese proverb? We learn a lot from our enemies, or our purported enemies. You know, it's interesting. A lot of people don't like the Chinese because they seem to be buying up a lot of property in America. Possibly because we borrowed a lot of money from them. And they're not as stupid as the American people to accept a worthless piece of paper for something of tangible wealth. So they're taking exchange in property. We owe them a lot of money, folks, and it's a terrible situation. Let's take a look at everything that's happening now. We have school shootings, we have all kinds of interesting things going on. But why, in fact, are all these things happening? If we were to remove ourselves and increase our objectivity and, get away from the horror of the events and really take a good look at things, perhaps we would better get a better grasp on what's going on right now. Okay? We live in an era where how many gallons of water that you already paid for, okay, gets flushed down the toilet. You also pay a sewer tax for the flushed water. The energy consumed by the old-fashioned incandescent light bulb is, is reduced by the new fluorescent type light bulb, which in fact is not made in the United States. How they legislated something that's not even made here is well beyond me. And then there's carbon taxes and carbon credits and when are you people going to stop all the nonsense and rebel? Soon there will be a sheet counter on your toilet paper, and somewhere in The Hague or in another country is going to tell you how many sheets it's going to take to wipe yourself. Folks, when are you going to take back your lives? Okay? When are you going to take back your lives? This is America. You're allowing everybody else everywhere in the world to bring you down to a standard of life that they are comfortable with, that makes them feel good. Well, folks, I've got to tell you something. Take a look at everything that's been happening. All right? In each and every time, there just happens to be a piece of legislation waiting behind every one of our disasters. Okay? Oh, well, they created that. Well, let's identify they. Let's go beyond the bankers, beyond the Jewish people, beyond the Masons, beyond Al-Qaeda or Al-Qaeda, which was invented. Let's go beyond all of that, okay? And let's just look at this very objectively. The people elected into Congress and elected into the Senate will spend a half an hour to 45 minutes when they go to lunch figuring out what they're going to eat. Okay? Do you honestly think that these people are responsible for the drafting of the legislation? Well, it's special interest. Yeah, okay, you're on to it. But who exactly is the special interest? Okay? Who mandates all of these ideas and drafts the legislation to give to the corporate and special interest shills in Congress and in the Senate and the judicial system? Who controls all of that? Where do these people come up with these crazy ideas? Folks, you should have been reading the treaties. We will lose our country through treaties. Okay? We're not talking about the inconvenience of unblocking your toilet here. We're not talking about spending $4 for 35 cents worth of illumination. We're talking about the lives of your children. Do you honestly think that if they put an armed teacher in every classroom, or put a cop in every school, or do all of these things that's going to make a difference. What happens if you've got unruly children and they overpower the teacher? Okay? They've got guns and they're not supposed to have them. They haven't been trained in them. So I think that that's totally ludicrous. If you want to stop the school shootings, stop who's behind the gun grab. Our government is not behind the gun grab. The people who finance our legislators who are for the gun grab is the United Nations. In each and every time your child gets fondled at the airport, okay, the TSA was put there by the United Nations. The United Nations is sovereign territory on every international airport. You have no constitutional rights there. Absolutely not. And the only way that a local municipality or law enforcement agency has any jurisdiction in an international airport is if they are invited in. Are you going to allow them to do that in your malls and in your schools and on your roads? Don't you think it's time that we got out of the United Nations? For goodness sake, they're killing your children to create more legislation. How much more brutal can you get? Oh, well. And here's a message to my brothers in law enforcement. Hey, I wore blue once too. Okay? But I'm going to tell you something. There are no special deals. The same people that lie to the people lie to you. And when they go to relocate your families for their safety, they're going to go into the same camps, to the same guillotines, to the same gas chambers. They're going to be given the same shots. They breathe the same air. They eat the same polluted food. Time to wake up. You know, the American dream, you've allowed it to become a nightmare. I love this country, and I love you people. But I really, really don't like the direction that the traitors, the leaders of this country, are driving us. I wish you clarity of thought and the best of luck.